All right, I was going to dive into dark money in the Supreme Court and in the court system itself. We might do that tomorrow. Instead, we're going to talk about Tennessee and what's going on with vaccination in Tennessee. Tennessee abandons vaccine outreach to minors, not just for COVID-19. Interesting. Republicans have now become so anti-vax that they are like, yo, children, don't we're not even gonna make sure you're vaccinated for anything, dog. Just go out there, you get some fucking polio in you, okay? That's the only way to have a strong immune system. The Tennessee Department of Health will halt all adolescent vaccine outreach, not just for coronavirus, but all diseases, amid pressure from Republican state lawmakers, according to an internal report and agency emails obtained by the Tennessean. If the health department must issue any information about vaccines, staff are instructed to strip the agency logo off the documents. Getting rubella to own the libs. Yeah, well, no, it's not getting diseases to own the libs. It's making sure children get diseases and die to own the libs. Imagine wanting to own your political opposition so badly that you're willing to literally sacrifice your children on like an altar. That's essentially what they're doing. The health department will also stop all COVID-19 vaccine events on school property, despite holding at least one such event this month. The decision to end vaccine outreach and school events come directly from the health commissioner, Dr. Lisa Piercy, the internal report states. Additionally, the health department will take steps to ensure it no longer sends postcards or other notices reminding teenagers to get their second dose of the coronavirus vaccines. Postcards will still be sent to adults, but teens will be excluded from the mailing list, so the postcards are not potentially interpreted as solicitation to minors, the report states. What? It's not solicitation to minors. They went in to get one vaccination. They need to be reminded to come get the second one. What about that is soliciting minors? Is sexual abuse occurring here? These changes to Tennessee's vaccination strategy, detailed in a COVID-19 report distributed to health department staff on Friday, then reiterated in a mass email on Monday, illustrate how the state government continues to dial back efforts to vaccinate minors against coronavirus. The state's approach to vaccinations will not only lessen efforts to inoculate young people against coronavirus, could also hamper the capacity to vaccinate adults and protect children from other infectious diseases. And these changes will take effect just as the coronavirus pandemic shows new signs of spread in Tennessee. After months of declining infections, the average number of new cases per day has now more than doubled in the past 2 weeks, from 177 to 418. The average test positivity rate has jumped from 2.2% to 5.4% in the same period, which is disturbing to say the least. Like, guys, you don't need to be like a professionally trained epidemiologist on these things to know that diseases spread exponentially. So if you have numbers doubling this week, that means they could double next week. Not good. Not good. Because in a matter of like a couple weeks, you could just lose complete control of this thing. I mean, that is what you like. Not Riverboat Jack hurting girls and women. I bet you love to rape and murder women. Yeah, that's exactly why I'm able to exist in public. It's exactly why I'm able to be on Twitch. Just my unadulterated love for committing violence against women. Your trolling attempts are weird as fuck, my dude. I do like playing with my food. I know, right? Like, you could... Like, my dude, there are so many good ways to make fun of trans people, and you're just, like, using, like, lowest hanging fruit. Like, it's not even entertaining. Like, you could be making so many good jokes or, like, hurtful comments, and you're just not doing it. You're like, I don't know. What's, like, the equivalent? You're like, an Adam Sandler type. You're doing Adam Sandler, but not in, like, a good Adam Sandler move. You're doing, like, Adam Sandler and Jack and Jill. That's kind of what you're doing, you know? Like, Jack and Jill Adam Sandler level. Like, it's clearly just a cash grab grift. It's kind of like that. Up your game a little bit. Be uncut gems, Adam Sandler. But I suppose that would actually entail you knowing what you're talking about, so... the cobbler Adam Sandler. Oh god, yeah. Let's see. The state is also detecting a growing number of infections from the Delta variant. Great. A more transmissible form of coronavirus sparking outbreaks among unvaccinated populations in Arkansas and Missouri. Tennessee's count of known Delta variant cases rose from 27 on June 24th to 125 as of last Thursday, according to virus data. The true count is likely much higher because testing of the variant is performed sparingly. The changes to Tennessee's vaccination strategy will impact the majority of the volunteer state, which lags behind most of the nation in the race to immunity. Only 38% of Tennesseans are fully vaccinated. At the current pace, the state won't be 50% vaccinated until March, according to Health Department estimates. March of next year. Holy moly. MF Debs, thank you so much for being here. You have a good night. Get good sleep. I mean, if you want some transgender trolling, do things like, how many transgender women does it take to screw in a light bulb? 8. 1 to do the work and 7 to clock the transition. That's a good one. Let's see. After the health department's internal COVID-19 report was circulated on Friday, the rollback of vaccine outreach was further detailed in a Monday email from Agency Chief Medical Officer Dr. Tim Jones. Jones told staff they should conduct no proactive outreach regarding routine vaccines and no outreach whatsoever regarding the HPV vaccine. Why? Staff were also told not to do any pre-planning for flu shot events at schools. Why? Any information released about back-to-school vaccinations should come from the Tennessee Department of Education, not the Tennessee Department of Health. Why? The Tennessee Department of Health is in charge of health. Like, what? What? Why? Why wouldn't... I don't understand. This is literally insanity. Any kinds of informational sheets or other materials that we make available for dissemination should have the Department of Health logo removed, Jones wrote. Goodness. The health department did not confirm nor dispute the existence of Jones' email. In a written statement, department spokesperson Sarah Tanksley credited the state's past outreach for high vaccination rates among children. For example, 95% of kindergartners were fully vaccinated last school year. That's great, but why are you stopping that now? Tanksley said the agency is now responding to an intense national conversation that is affecting how many families evaluate vaccinations in general, is planning more market research into the roots of vaccine hesitancy. You know what? That's great. Plan more market research into the roots of vaccine hesitancy. But keep doing your outreach to get as many people vaccinated as possible. Tennessee is on solid footing when it comes to childhood immunizations and will continue to keep information and programming in place for parents. We are simply mindful of how certain tactics could hurt that progress. Normally, the health department regularly advocates for vaccinating kids against many diseases without controversy. For example, in 2019, the department published at least 15 tweets that either explicitly recommended minors be vaccinated or featured a child in pro-vaccine image or video. The agency's outreach campaign recommended vaccination against flu, measles, mumps, rubella, human papillomavirus, or HPV, among others. As you talk openly about trans, I would like to know your personal reasons, please. Chunli Tsunami, it's honestly, it's okay when people ask. So the personal reasons that I transitioned were literally because I reached a point in my life where I realized I was miserable all the time, and that I was either going to kill myself or transition. It literally, like a lot of trans people don't want to be trans because they know how society treats transgender people. And so for a lot of people, they do everything in their power to not be that way. And it doesn't work, because of course it doesn't. And so I realized that my choices were either kill myself or transition, and I was selfish and decided to live. You know, like I took the hard route of living and doing the work to change myself. Did I hear correctly? Did they want the school boards to deliver the vax info, but not the health department? And they want schools to handle one more thing so they can bitch about woke schools? Yep, Mithril missed, 100%. Thanks, chat. It's been hard, not gonna lie. Decisions to ratchet back outreach comes amid pressure from conservative lawmakers who've embraced misinformation about the coronavirus vaccine. Said Dr. Michelle Ficus, Tennessee's former top vaccine official, who was fired without explanation on Monday. Wow. Fiscus said she was the scapegoat to appease lawmakers who had described routine vaccine outreach as reprehensible. This is a failure of public health to protect the people of Tennessee. That is what is reprehensible. Agreed. Translender, thank you very much for the follow. And when trans people transition, it drastically improves their quality of life. True! There is no study that exists that shows transition having a negative effect on people. Yeah, transphobes are pretty cringe. I agree. Yeah, no more vaccination events at schools. Yeah, in many rural Tennessee counties, school gymnasiums are one of the few venues large enough to hold a vaccination event indoors, with air conditioning and enough space for social distancing. Lawmakers threaten ending the entire health department. What? The Tennessee Department of Health began backing off vaccination outreach in the wake of contentious legislative hearing in mid-June, where several conservative lawmakers chastised Piercy for efforts to vaccinate teenagers. What? I'm doing all right, Solaire of Sistora. I've gotten multiple death threats tonight, so it's a spicy evening. Lawmakers accused the agency of attempting to circumvent parents and peer pressure minors to be vaccinated, then discussed dissolving the entire health department to stop its vaccine advertisements. Department leaders are scheduled to reappear before the same group of lawmakers before questioning on July 22nd or 21st. I have never said that I want to dissolve and reconstitute the Department of Health, said Representative Scott Sipicki, who proposed ending the agency on June 16th. What I said is, when we come back next month, I want there to be that as a consideration. That's what? Saying you want to consider dissolving the department is saying that you want to dissolve the department. What is this?